Today I'm taking you on a tour of a suburb of New York City that you may never heard of before, but once you move to Westchester County, it's a place that you can't miss. It's Greenburgh, New York. That's right, the town of Greenburgh. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Greenburgh, New York. Once again, my name is Marc Giles, and I want to welcome you to my video channel. Thank you for coming. Please subscribe because I'm going to be bringing you more great content about the suburbs of New York, living in New York, living outside of New York. Whether you're thinking about buying a house, selling a house, maybe you need financing, you need some financing tips and knowledge. Well, I'm a mortgage loan originator as well as a real estate agent, so I got all the answers to all of your questions. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's just jump right into it. The pros and cons of living in the town of Greenburgh, New York. But before we get started on that, what is Greenburgh, New York? Where is Greenburgh, New York? Greenburgh, New York is a suburb, one of the best suburbs outside of New York City that you can commute to every day. Why? Because of the location of Greenburgh. It's just about 20 minutes drive from Greenburgh to New York City, to the edge of New York City. If you want to get to Manhattan, it's probably another 15, 20 minutes. So in about 40 minutes, you can literally drive from Greenburgh, New York to Midtown Manhattan. So Greenburgh, New York is approximately 36 square miles. It's north of New York City. It's a suburb of New York City. Now Greenburgh has about 93,000 residences. The town of Greenburgh has its own police department, it has its own school system, it has its own sanitation department. The town of Greenburgh is set up to provide you with all of the needs that you might have living in a town. So roughly half of Greenburgh's population reside within 6 of Greenburgh's incorporated villages. And these villages are Ardsley, Dobbs, Ferry, Hastings-on-the-Hudson, Irvington, Tarrytown, and Elmsford. So these villages all exist in Westchester County, and you'll find that the town of Greenburgh encompasses the same geographical location. Well, you know what? It's a little complicated, to be honest with you, because if you're living in Greenburgh and you're living in the village of Elmsford, Elmsford does have its own police department, where the town of Greenburgh has its own police department. So some of these services do overlap. Now, I live in Greenburgh, and I'm going to tell you that the services that are provided by Greenburgh are top-notch. So Greenburgh is a great place to live, and I would highly recommend it. Now, I want you to watch this video all the way to the end, because at the end, I'm going to give you a bonus tip about the town of Greenburgh, New York that you will not want to miss. So stick around to the end. Let's go. All right, so today we're talking about the pros and cons of living in the town of Greenburgh, which is a suburb of New York City. One of the main questions I also get asked when people are buying homes, for example, in the town of Greenburgh, what kind of recreation does the town of Greenburgh offer? The town of Greenburgh has 8 swimming pools and parks. It has an interactive kiddie pool. The town offers 30 tennis courts. It has 2 ponds, 14 parklets. It has an arts and cultural center that offers free monthly programs for kids and people of all ages. The town of Greenburgh also offers a nature center and a fitness center. That's right, so the town of Greenburgh has quite a lot to offer residences in the terms of entertainment, in terms of recreation and fitness. There's a lot of things you can do. I really enjoy living here, and if you'd like to learn more about living in Greenburgh, feel free anytime. Call me, my number's below, text me, love to talk to you. Also, below is the link where you can actually look at homes that are for sale in Greenburgh and get a sense of what has sold, what's for sale, and what things are looking like. So right now in the town of Greenburgh, the average 1,500 to 2,000 square foot home is priced about $750,000, and we're going to talk about the cost of living in Greenburgh, so stick around. Starting with number 5 and counting down, let's start with the proximity to New York City. Now, let's talk about the transportation in Greenburgh. So what you're going to find that Greenburgh is in the center of Westchester. It's mostly on the west side. It goes right up against the Hudson River to the west. You'll find that the bus system, which services the entire county of Westchester, will pass through Greenburgh, and the bus system is really, really on point. One thing I do like about the bus system is you can tell when the bus will arrive, and from my experience of taking the bus, I'd say about 90% of the time when the bus says it's going to be there, it usually arrives. So if you don't mind taking public transportation, town of Greenburgh has some of the greatest transportation options that you'll find. Additionally, you can also take the MTA. Now, the town of Greenburgh, because it's so wide and big and services so many different towns, you'll find that there are train stops that do pass through the town of Greenburgh even though they're labeled as like Irvington, White Plains. These train stations do come close to the town of Greenburgh. Additionally, part of the city of Yonkers is also in the area of the town of Greenburgh. So while you're shopping for a home and you're looking around, these are some of the questions that you want to ask, so that when you're shopping, you get a clear idea of what services that you'll be provided by your municipality. Coming in at number 4, we're going to talk about the cost of living in the town of Greenburgh, New York. Now, when we're talking about the cost of living in Greenburgh, yes, you're going to find that it's going to be a little high, relatively speaking, if you compare it to other places in the United States. But as I always say, if you look at the cost of living in New York City and you compare that to living in the suburbs, Greenburgh, while it's less expensive, and you'll get more bang for your buck residentially and for everything else. Number 3, let's talk about the diverse neighborhoods and culture living in the town of Greenburgh, New York. So what you'll find when you come to Greenburgh, you're going to see a lot of single-family homes. You'll also find condominiums. You'll see co-op apartments for sale. You'll also notice that there's a lot of residential rentals. While Greenburgh is a town of its own, as I said earlier, it does share geographical areas with other villages, towns, and cities. So what you're going to find is that White Plains, for example, is a huge city in Westchester County, and Greenburgh is right next to it. So you'll find that there is access to a lot of great things to do living in the town of Greenburgh, because you can just mosey on over to the city of White Plains, where you'll find all kind of restaurants, a lot of recreational. You have movie theaters, parks, and all kind of great things to do. Additionally, in the town of Greenburgh, you'll also notice that it's attached to the city of Yonkers as well. So if you're going to look for more exciting things to do, the city of Yonkers has some of the most wonderful things to do, and it's right by the Hudson River, so it has all of the great views and things that you will want to see living in a suburb while having access to all of these urban amenities that are provided by the city. So now coming in at number 2, let's talk about traffic and congestion. Now, I've been commuting back and forth for years from Westchester County to the city and to the 5 boroughs, and I'm going to tell you that congestion is really not that bad at all. Once in a while, when you're crossing from east to west on the 287, if you're heading toward the Tappan Zee Bridge around 5 o'clock on a Friday, you might find some congestion, but for the most part, when you're traveling from north to south on the Bronx River Parkway, or you're traveling on the Sprain or on 87, you're going to find that the traffic pretty much moves all the time. If there's an accident, that's a different story, but from what I've found, if you want to get somewhere, you can pretty much get to where you want to go driving pretty easily. But one thing I do want to point out to you is the parking situation. I'll be honest with you, parking in these cities, for me, I find it a little challenging, because everywhere you park in most of these cities in Westchester, there are parking meters, and these parking meters can become a pain in the neck. Why? Not only because you got to put quarters in, but each parking meter in each town has a different app, right? So you go on your phone, you have to pay for parking on your app, and that app is going to be used by different companies. So you might have 4, 5, 6 different companies that you're going to use to pay for parking, whether you're in New Rochelle, whether you're in Yonkers, whether you're in White Plains. It's not that bad, but it's something to consider. And I can guarantee you one thing, the meter maids in these cities are on top of their game. If you go to White Plains and you park your car and you leave your car sitting there 10, 15 minutes past the expiration time, you can almost guarantee you're going to get a ticket. I greatly urge you to pay attention to the parking. When you're parking, get the app. It is very efficient, and you can always reload the app with the parking when you're not even by the meter. One thing about living in the town of Greenburgh, though, very few parking meters. So you can go shopping in different shopping centers, and they still have free parking for the most part, right? Okay, number 1, let's talk about the outdoor spaces of living in the town of Greenburgh, New York. So you'll find in Greenburgh, there's plenty of parks, there's skating rinks, there's swimming pools, there's plenty of things to do if you like being outdoors and enjoying your recreation. There's plenty of trails with parks where you can ride your bikes, especially on Sunday. A lot of times they'll shut down the Bronx River Parkway. That is a beautiful time to go out bike riding and enjoying the afternoon. And the fall time, it's such a beautiful scenic event that's taking place for months, and you can just keep enjoying that while you're out there jogging, running, enjoy to do. It's great outdoors. So Greenburgh has plenty of fun things to do, whether you like to hike, bike, go swimming. There's tons of things for you and your family to do the entire year long. So yes, these are some of the things you need to know before you go out buying a home, and you want to compile your list of questions that you want to have answered as you're buying your home. So when you hit the street, you're looking for your house, you'll be prepared. Okay, so for our bonus tip today, we're going to talk about the Greenburgh Nature Center. Now this is a place that is inspiring, it's relaxing, it's a place, a physical geographic location that you can go with your family to explore all of the beautiful things. Greenburgh Nature Center has 33 acres dedicated exclusively for that. Indoors, outdoors, it's a learning center. In fact, you can even plan a birthday party there. You can do some things with your family. A lot of schools have trips that bring students and to watch and look at the beautiful exhibits that the Nature Center has. So it's a great place for you and your family to check out. So if you have time on the weekend and you just want to go somewhere and relax, this is a great place to do that. And not only that, but you can learn about the environment, learn about sustainability. They have different exhibits that they have there. So you might want to even check out their website and go on there and see what events they might have coming up in the near future. And I highly recommend the Greenburgh Nature Center right here in the town of Greenburgh, New York. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, I want you to hit the subscribe button down below because I'm going to be bringing you more great content about this, the suburbs of New York, Westchester, Connecticut. Let's get into it. I'm going to be bringing you good content, so comment below. Let me know of more things that you would like to see or hear about. Like the video, and of course, subscribe.